Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. I hope you had a very good weekend. It was a very eventful weekend. Very eventful. I think you all know what I'm talking about. The news of the weekend. Now, I'm not going to shy away from this. I'm going to talk about this. If you don't know, it's not even like a joking matter, in my opinion, or I think in anybody's opinion at all. Like what happened on this past Saturday, I couldn't believe. If you've been living under a rock and you have no idea what I'm talking about, former President Donald Trump there was an attempted assassination on him. An attempted assassination. It was wild. And I didn't see this live either. I was scrolling on X the day of that it happened, after it had happened, and I had saw trending, Trump got shot. That was in like all caps, and that was the trending topic that I saw. And I was like, this cannot be real. Like, there's no way that this is real. There's just no way. Then I looked, and I saw images of Trump with a bloodied face, fist in the air, American flag behind him, and Secret Service members like surrounding him. And I'm like, wait, whoa. Is this actually real? Did this actually happen? Now, this is all, I didn't even know like where he got shot. I just saw blood on his face and around his ear. I'm like, whoa, where did he get shot at? How did he get shot? Like, it looked like it missed like just by a margin, just clipping his ear. Then I saw the video. Of it happen. And as I was watching it, it was insane. You just hear the gunshots, and then he kind of reacts in a weird way where he like touches his ear. He feels like he's checking his ear, like to see if it was okay. And then he kind of like, he winced as he did it. Like he like winced and like checked his ear, and then kind of went back, and then just got down. Then the Secret Service guys, rushed him and covered his body, and then as they were trying to, escort him out and be like, we gotta go, he like puts his fist up in the air and gets the iconic picture, and then the rest is history. But in the fact of the matter that this dude nearly died, was nearly killed this past weekend, is just incredible. Not incredible, but it's just unbelievably insane to even think about. I, as a 30-year-old man, have never seen any president, any like government official, anybody in politics who is the victim of an attempted suicide or attempted assassination. Never seen that once in my life. And to see it happen, not in real time, but like to see it after it happened, the video of itself was just like very crazy to watch. You can see the sheer panic and all these people that he's rallying, that he's speaking to. The screams, the cries for help, the sense of like not knowing what's going on, not knowing what's happening. It was just all, and it happened so fast. And I was just like, whoa, like that was like way too real. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like how you see in the movies, how it's all built up and shit, and it's just like, I don't know. I just can't explain. It was so real that you're like, whoa, that it just kind of like startles you, and you don't really know how to react because you've never been in that position where, or most people have never been in that position where someone is attempting to assassinate somebody else in front of you. You don't really know how to react. You don't really know how to process it because you've never had to put yourself in that scenario or put yourself in that situation, or even like, get your mind ready of like, oh no, someone's being, someone's about to be assassinated, or they're trying to attempt to assassinate this person. Truly is something that you never think about, going through your day-to-day life. You don't expect to see on X, the president almost, or the former president almost getting assassinated. You never see that coming. You never see that. You never even think about that. You just think he's always at a rally in Pennsylvania, and then that's it. That's all. Unfortunately, a person did die in that situation, in that attempted assassination, and that's incredibly sad. It's not something that you want to hear. It's unfortunate that that person passed, and it's very sad that happened. And you just kind of think like, well, life is precious. You don't really, no one was expecting that to happen. No one thought that they were just going to support their political candidate for presidency, and then all of a sudden you hear gunshots, and it's just, whoa, what's going on? How does this happen? How does any of that even get through? It's weird. It's weird, and it just doesn't seem like it should have happened. I don't know all the specifications of like, who was in charge of like, locking that entire place down. I'm pretty sure it was the Secret Service that had to lock it all down, and I guess they failed. And they let somebody in, or they let somebody get to a vantage point, and that guy was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And then he tried, and obviously he didn't hit his target. He hit somebody else and killed them. And then the Secret Service took him out, the shooter, and it was just wild. I mean, I've never seen any of that happen before in my life, in my entire life. I've never even thought that would even happen. That thought never pops into your head that, you could be at an event, at some kind of event, whether it be a rally, ceremony, graduation. I was just in my brother's graduation like 2 months ago, and they had snipers posted on like the buildings because, if there was like a somebody trying to, kill somebody there, then they could easily, take them out, if they had to. But you never think too much about it because you always expect things to go the way that they're planned. You always expect things to go swimmingly, smoothly, with no interruptions. But that's just not how it works all the time. Some terrible things can happen, and you never expected it. And I'm pretty sure no one there expected any of that to happen. I mean, Donald Trump sure didn't either. I mean, it's crazy that he's okay. I hope like mentally that the guy's like, all right, because I mean, he goes through something like that, in your brain, he's probably thinking like, I was literally almost killed. Literally, like if I didn't turn that like that, or turned earlier or later, I could have had a completely different outcome. And he turned and it clipped his ear, and then he's probably thinking to himself like, well, luckily that it was only the ear. Like, I mean, Jesus, man. I mean, it is so hard. It's so hard to believe that that's how it happened. Like, he was just clipped on the ear. Now, it's not a good thing for that to happen, but we potentially, like, I mean, it was an awful thing to happen. But if the shooter did succeed, I mean, I don't know what would happen. I don't know. I don't want to like think about what would happen. All I know is it would not be good. It'd be pretty terrible. It would be not a good thing to witness, and then to see the repercussions of. I mean, failure of the Secret Service, political unrest, all that stuff. It's, just something that mounts and mounts and builds, and you're like, whoa, I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's weird. You almost want to dabble into some, maybe it's a little too early to talk about this, but you want to dabble in a little bit of like conspiracy thought, like, was this guy set up? What was the intention? Who was trying to do this? Was it really just this guy? It kind of explains, like, doesn't really, but like, does kind of feed into like, why wasn't the Secret Service, everywhere? Why was that building that person was on not cleared? Why was that building not, surveillanced, cleared, under watch? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, really. I don't know if it was an inside job or not. It does, you do kind of wonder, though, like, how could that happen? And this isn't just like a weird thing to think about. A lot of people were saying, like, was it staged? Was it faked? I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to think about that. It's really hard to. It definitely was not fake, because there was some videos, I think because the Republicans are doing the RNC, and then there's like videos of like Trump on the internet. And if you've seen any of the videos, it looks like he's like in shock, still kind of in shock of what happened, and like very like calm, and very like, thanking God that he's alive still. You just you get that vibe, that look from him. He's like, he's really like counting his blessings. I mean, that's what I see when I see these videos, like after, after the events of the past Saturday. When you see him, it's like, oh wow, he looks a little shook, And I think those videos alone and those clips alone, in a way, kind of shut off like it was fake or it was staged. I think that, if he's acting like that, acting shocked and acting like he's, well, not just shocked, but acting like, that he's just so thankful to be alive that he's like speechless in a way. That's very good acting then. But I don't know if Trump is that good of an actor, I'll be honest. I think all that shit that happened was 100% real. None of it was faked. None of it wasn't plotted either. You're almost at a loss for words on how insane that entire day was. And that was the story of the weekend, of the week still. Like, it bled over to, like, even today, like, people are still talking about it. It's still on the news. It's like, damn, bro. I mean, what a crazy thing to happen. Like, what an absolute insane thing to witness, to see, and just be like, what the hell, man? What in the hell? Wild. It's like almost indescribable of how insane all that was, that event, the repercussions, what has happened. Now, I haven't really gone into a lot of, like, a total amount of detail on it, because it does seem like very surface like of what happened. Guy tried to assassinate him. He missed. He was clipped on the ear. A person died at the rally because of that. And, and now everybody's thinking. Now everybody's got opinions. Everybody's trying to dissect what happened, how it happened, why it happened. It's truly, not going to go away. As long as time passes, it is still not going to go away. Like, if if Trump ends up becoming president, that memory, that event that happened on Saturday, what was it? July. Hold on, let me see. What was the date? Saturday, July 13th. The dude's life was nearly taken from an assassin. Like, dude, I mean, like, you can't just, I mean, that ain't going to go away for years, He's probably going to, like, remember that day. He's going to remember that for the rest of his life. Like, that's insane. And then we all will too, because we'll all remember that day, July 13th, 2024. Somebody tried to assassinate Donald Trump. And, it's just, you can't get it out of your brain. I mean, everybody is just talking about it. And it's like, dude, can you believe that? Can you, like, no one can believe it. No one still can't believe it. It's absolutely insane. It doesn't seem like real. It doesn't seem like reality. It seems like a movie. It seems like a script in a way. Everybody likes to, joke about the NBA and the NFL season, that there's a script that they follow. Now they're going to be like saying the same thing, like, was the 2024 political year scripted? What's been happening with Joe Biden, all his drama, what's, Trump's legal drama, and then his assassination attempt. Like, whoa, it does, in a way, seem like it's scripted, but I don't think it is. I mean, like, I know it isn't, but, like, it just seems like, nobody could have written this. And, like, well, maybe it was. No, it truly wasn't, but, like, it's so crazy that you're like, was this scripted? Was this written by somebody that, like, okay, we got to follow the script. This is how the 2024 political year is going to go. This is the script for the year. And then at the end of the year, this is what's going to happen, because this is an election year. This is wild stuff. And this is all happening, like I just said, in an election year. Unbelievable. I just don't, you can't make this up. But also at the same time, is like, this is like a little too crazy. Maybe somebody did make this up. But truly, I don't think, I mean, this is real as shit. I mean, this is as real as it gets, people. You turn on the news and you're just like, you're still in disbelief of the images that we have gotten in the moments in that day. Like, there is a picture of him, like, from the behind view, like somebody took like a snapshot, like a close-up of his face all bloody, like his hand like kind of by his face, like touching his face, kind of realizing, oh shit, I've been shot. And it's like, dude, these images are freaking incredible. Like, how does anybody even capture this stuff? How does anybody, look and this is going to go out, like, this is like history book stuff. Like, when we are 75 years in the future, like, this is going to be like the beginning of a chapter. You know how the chapters have like a big picture of like what that chapter is going to contain in the history books? Like, this is going to be like the front page of that chapter of former President Donald Trump nearly being taken out by an assassin. Like, this is insane. You see all the time, like, back in the day, like in President Abraham Lincoln's, that's like one of the main things. I mean, well, that's, what ultimately ended his life, but like, that's like a huge moment in the political world back in the day. Like, his assassination, John F. Kennedy's assassination, like, it's just like he is now, this event is like propelled to like those crazy events that had happened in our country's history. Now, we just lived through that. Like, I know he didn't die, but the visual of that, he got clipped in the ear, blood running down his face, pumping his fists in the sky, and then with the American flag behind him. Like, we just witnessed history. That will be taught and discussed for years and years and years to come, generations to come. We just witnessed it. I mean, it's not like, it's like, oh, that was amazing. Like, no, it's like, whoa, I can't even believe what I just saw. I can't even believe it. Like, it's terrible. and you're like, I just can't. You don't even know what to say. You're gasping. You're like, you're speechless. You're just like, I cannot believe what I have seen, and I still can't believe it either. Like I said, it's almost been a week. It's been more like 4 days, and I'm like, whoa. It's like impossible to not think about what happened or to not try to figure it out, just on your own. Like, why would this even happen? Makes no sense. Oh, that is probably the most political I've ever gotten on this show, I'll be honest. But I had to. It was the story of the weekend. This is still the story of the week. Like, this is, like I said, it's insane. But I had to touch on it. I know it's political. I know I had to deal with a candidate for the president. I know, like I said, it is the most political I've gotten to talk about on the show's history of all time. But it was just the story of the freaking weekend, and everybody that I knew was like speaking on it. I was like, well, I'll be doing a little bit of a disservice, honestly, if I did not talk about this at all on my show, and just how wild it's been, insane it's been. Anyways, what I have left is nowhere as interesting. I'm just giving you a heads up. But I must go on. I got show to fill. All right, so moving on to a little bit of sports. The Copa America and the Euros concluded on Sunday, this past Sunday. Talk about the Euros first. Spain defeated England 2-1 pretty confidently, pretty without a doubt. Well, not without a doubt, but like pretty, like, not easily. I wouldn't say easily, but like from when I was watching the game, it really did seem like England really didn't have any ideas on how to beat Spain, I'll be honest. Their starting 11 didn't really produce any chances to defeat England, to defeat Spain, or to even just score on Spain. Spain kept the ball a lot. They didn't play like their classic like tiki-taka soccer, which if you've been a fan of soccer in like from like 2005, 2004 to like 2018, that was like their style, like pass, keep possession, pass, and then maybe score. It wasn't like that. Their style, but they do still keep the ball, but they just attack. And they almost kind of seem like a evolved version of their tiki-taka soccer style. Like it's more pleasant to watch. It's more like dominance. It's more like they just can figure you out quicker and easier than ever before. In England, I mean, I'm kind of a little shocked, because England was so like confused on how Spain was able to like get by them so many times. And England really didn't have any response at all in the first half, and even in late to the second half. Like, their goal scorer, I think, was a substitute in like the 70 something minute or something like that, and he just like kind of came on and got like a one shot, and then he buried it in the back of the net. And then Spain was able to just kind of at that point it was 1-1, and then Spain just kind of shut the door in like the 86th minute, just in like a goal that really not many people saw coming because it came so fast. But it happened. And, after that, it was already too late. England could not come back and counter in time. There was like one good chance at the very end that, that had everybody like on their heels, on the edge of their seat, but it never happened. I mean, it was close, but never did. But I think that, it's crazy because England and Spain are European countries, clearly different styles of soccer. Playing soccer, they play it differently than each other. But Spain's was just like so evolved and so smart and so devastating just it felt like England players just could not really adapt, and they feel like they didn't have a chance at all. It seemed like they were always chasing the ball, that Spain was just faster and quicker than they were, and that England, even though like it was a really good England team, like they really had no answer to Spain. It felt like one of like the most lopsided finals of the Euros I've ever seen. I mean, in my life. I mean, like I know like I think France Portugal was pretty close. England Italy was, Italy was better, but like I felt like England played better than they did against Spain this past weekend. But it was just like I couldn't believe how much better Spain was than England. Whatever like Spain is doing, like we need to replicate that style of soccer, because I just feel like if you do that, I mean then you're gonna win every time. So yeah, that was the Euros. I can't really say like, the teams played in the Copa America played better than what I saw in the Euros. I mean, the Copa America between Colombia and Argentina was a filthy, filthy game. Meaning, like, there was a lot of fouls, a lot of flops, a lot of dramatics, a lot of potential fights. I think that there might have been an actual fight breakout. 4 yellow cards, no red cards, but very intense and very heated game. Like very, very, very heated game between the countries, I should say. Obviously, I mean, Argentina won 1-0. Messi wins his second Copa America, back-to-back Copa America champions. It was a crazy game before the game, during the game, and like if you don't know the story, what happened, pretty much like Hard Rock Stadium really got beaten to shit by the Colombia fans, like beaten to hell. First off, at the beginning, before the game even started, the security and the ticket operators were having trouble getting fans into the stadium who had tickets, because they were getting rushed by fans that did not have tickets trying to get into the stadium to watch the game. So they had to, do it slowly, slower than they thought that they would. At one point they had to shut it down, and then towards that they opened it back up, and then they rushed it, and then they had to shut it down again. And then, you just have all this start and stop, people getting hurt, people arguing, people getting in fights, people getting arrested, because of that, people, still trying to sneak in without tickets through air ducts, hopping over the fences. It just became like a crazy scene that you had never seen in like American stadiums ever, because American, sporting events are just much more calm, cool. Everybody who has a ticket is already there. Not many people who don't have a ticket are trying to sneak in like that. And it was just wild to see, because even with our security, right, and our, I know it's like, the security is paid by Comnable, but it's just like, you would think that, that here in the United States, we would have much more control over something like this, but we clearly did not. The Miami Police Department got overrun, the security got overrun, the ticket operators got overrun. There was broken escalators, trash all over the place. They opened the air ducts to get into the vents. It's just like, it seems like that something like that would never happen in America, but clearly it did. And you're looking at it, and you're like, wow. I mean, aren't we supposed to host a World Cup in 2 years? And one of these stadiums got just ripped to shreds and got the piss kicked out of it. Are we ready? I mean, can we do this? I think that we can. I know FIFA's going to be behind this one, so maybe we'll have a little bit more luck than with CONMEBOL. But I don't know. I just feel like that this whole thing, this one game in particular, was so like people were just determined to get in, to get in and to not be, to not have to show tickets or proof of purchase. They just stormed in, and then they learned the hard way. Like, throughout the game, there was security and police going through the rows and the aisles to check if they had tickets. If they did not, they were going to kick them out. And it's just like, dude, like, you almost think that, this stuff should never happen here, but it does. And you're like, whoa, I don't think we're prepared for that World Cup, if I'm being completely honest, boys. But, it was crazy. The build-up, I think it was delayed like almost an hour. So it was like a long delay. I heard people saying like it might get postponed maybe, for the next day. But they kept it on. They're like, what, screw it. We just, we got to put this event on and get it done. They had Shakira perform at halftime. She's probably like, oh my God, I have to wait a whole nother hour because the fans are delaying it. But yeah, it was insane. It was, that build up to the game was just like wild. It was like, what the hell is happening? Why is this happening? The game itself was pretty good besides all the flopping. It was intense. You could feel the passion between the players on the field. And like I said, Argentina won 1-0. And, Messi hoisted up his second trophy, second Copa America. Pretty, it was an up and down game for Messi because he got injured in like the end of the first half. It looked like it was probably an ankle. And then, the second half comes along, he's making a play on the ball, and he's running, and he just kind of collapses. Like his something like just doesn't look right. And at this point, he's like, being like, I have to get off. I have to leave the field. And then he leaves the field, and then he's crying. You're like, why is he? He must be hurt real bad. And then like maybe 20 minutes later, the cameras at the stadium got a shot of his ankle, and it was his right ankle, and it was swollen big time. Like he probably looks like it fractured or sprained his ankle pretty badly. Non-contact injury. He just kind of like was making a play on the ball, like I said, and then just fell. Like some just like boop popped or something like that. It was weird because you couldn't really tell. Like the cameras weren't really focusing too much on the ankle. So you couldn't really tell what it was. I thought it was probably his ankle. And at one point I was like, is this his ACL? Because he kind of just fell down and just like immediately was like, I gotta go. I'm hurt bad. But no, it was an ankle, which is still not good, let's be honest. But it is better than tearing your ACL or even Achilles. I mean, like the Achilles at that point too is like a really, really long recovery. That's like, Messi's older. He's kind of winding down his career. He's got, if he wants to, he'll play for the World Cup in 2 years. I mean, I don't know. Will he? So, you kind of want to be a little, cautious, if you're Messi, getting up in that age. You ain't getting any older, You only got, like, maybe, I would say, like, Messi has got probably about, like, 3 more years of playing like pretty decent soccer. So that would mean he could play for the 2026 World Cup, and he could probably, then that would be like his last like, final like international competition. That would be freaking awesome if he actually made it to that. But I did have one thought about this after the Copa America final. Both of the tournaments, the Euros and the Copa America, were going on simultaneously for the first time, I feel like, in ever. I don't know what it was about this summer's soccer tournaments, the Euros and the Copa America, but they were just like days apart, For at least like the start dates were like days apart. And I realized because we're having the Euros and the Copa America you know, happening on the same days for most of the summer. You watch games. You watch a Euro game and you watch a Copa America game, then you watch another Euro game, and then a Copa America again, so on and so on for days and even weeks. And then you get to the finals of both the Euros and the Copa America, and then you're like, these are the four best teams, right? England, Spain, Colombia, Argentina, right? Clearly, there was something in Colombia that when they beat the United States 5-1 in like a friendly before the Copa America, it doesn't hurt as bad because you're like, well, they made it to the final. They almost beat Argentina. Maybe this team is better than what I had thought. I don't feel nearly as bad now knowing that Colombia made it to the Copa America final against Argentina, lost, but still made it that far, and, beat Uruguay. I don't feel nearly as bad, or that we performed as bad as I had thought, And then I'm looking at the Euros, and I'm seeing freaking Spain. They didn't lose a single game. They scored like the most. They were like the most efficient team. They were the best team. They beat every team that they played, they beat them. And, they looked like the best team from the start, And then you kind of compare. You compare the winners, at least in my opinion. I was comparing Spain against Argentina. And I was thinking to myself, like, you know what? As I was watching the Copa America final, Spain had already beaten England and won the Euros. I was thinking to myself, like, neither of these teams can beat Spain. Neither of them. Like, Spain was playing on like a completely different level than Colombia, Argentina. Completely different. Like, I was watching Spain just mow through England all game, and how these guys were just going back and forth, Colombia and Argentina. While it was entertaining, I just was like, neither of these teams, in my eyes, could beat Spain. Like, I could see Spain going like 3-0 on these motherfuckers. Like, no, easily. No shot they even score on Spain, I was like, well, I guess, I don't want to compare both continents on their soccer, but because these tournaments are happening on the same day, I kind of am going to. I kind of have to, And I was just like, yeah, there's no way Spain is losing to any of these teams. I mean, Spain can beat these teams. They can beat Uruguay. They can beat Brazil. They can beat Chile, Paraguay, Mexico, the United States. Like, they're beating all these guys. Spain is winning everything. So maybe this is somewhat of a future prediction. You're hearing it here first. If I had to predict the winner of the 2026 World Cup, I'm going to go with Spain. Just because of how dominant they were in this. They're young players. They have very young players. They're going to be mature. They're going to be older than they are now. They're going to be more seasoned. They're going to be playing to compete for a World Cup. They won it in 2010. They won the Euros in 2014. In 2012. And I just feel like, this might be like almost like another streak of like Spain like emerging as like the top soccer nation in the world, in a way. When I was watching it, like I said, like I was just like, there's no one I think from South America that can beat Spain. I'm just being honest. I don't see anybody from South America beating this team. Can't do it. Can't see it. I can't foresee it. I don't even see it at all. So, like I said, this is an early prediction, but I'm going with Spain to win the 2026 World Cup. I mean, the way that they beat the best competition. They beat Germany, they beat France, they beat England. Like, they beat them all. They beat them all. They won the gauntlet. And so far, like, none of the other South American countries have played, I think, as good or at the level as Spain has in the Euros. So, yeah, this is probably going to be a bold prediction, but also I think that it could be a pretty easy prediction. Spain winning the World Cup in 2026. I wouldn't place money on it, just so you know. I don't advise gambling, but if you're just going to make a fun prediction, like, oh, I think that Spain will win, then I think that I can endorse that. Gambling, I'm not going to tell you to gamble. Do not gamble. Do not trust me. But if you want to make a fun little prediction for the World Cup in 2026, Spain, I think, is going to win. Let me see. You know what I get a lot of? I think it might be the people that, I don't even follow these people, I'll be honest. This is always on my For You page. I always get like this kind of spammy bait. Because, well, for one, it's spammy because I get a lot. Also, it's bait. Because people want you to do something and tell you that they have to do this in order for the people who they tell to do it. And they get satisfaction because they trick somebody. But, I'm a big X guy. I'm always on X. And I get so many, on my For You side of X, which I'm not on that much, but sometimes X likes to throw me off my following onto the For You whenever I open the app to try to trick me to get me to use the For You. But I'm not going to do it because why would I? And sometimes, I see people who I don't even follow, and I'm like, all right, that's a red flag. This is not the following page. But, sometimes I scroll a little bit, just a little bit, though, just to see what's up. And I get so many posts that, hey, like this post because Elon Musk changed the like animation to something else instead of like the red heart that, pulses when you tap the like button. And I never do that. I never actually try that because I know that it's probably not true. And you know what? It's crazy because in the beginning there was some thing, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was an event, maybe it was a special day or something, but the like button animation did change. It wasn't just like the pulsing heart when you push it, but it was something else. I can't remember. It might have been like a sparkle or like an explosion type of thing, but it was definitely different. It was for some special occasion, day, holiday, I can't remember, but it did happen. And ever since that moment, I've seen a lot of those posts saying that the animation is different like this, and you'll see it. Sometimes they'll even have like pictures side by side of the heart before and then the heart after, or the heart during the like. And I know for a fact that for the most part, it is not going to change. And I never actually click the like button. Why? Because I don't want to fall for the bait. And also, deep down inside in my being, I don't want to be a follower. I am not somebody who follows any Joe Schmo on the internet. I'm going to go against the grain. I always push back on that type of shit. Every time I do it, every time I see it, and they're like, you got to check this out. You got to like this post to see, like this to get notified, like this to subscribe. It's like, no. You're not making me, but you're pushing your authority, your power on me, and you want me to like something, which I don't even know why I'm liking it, or even if I like it. So no, I'm not gonna like it. Tough squash. And remember, when I first did it, it was actually something cool. It actually did change the animation of the like on X. And ever since then, I've done it a couple times and nothing has happened. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Like, I am not going to do it. I get that quite a bit. It's really annoying. I just feel like, I do see these posts that say like this to see this, and I see like 5.6K likes. I'm like, oh, these poor sons of bitches. They liked it. They should have taken their like back, but Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, like, how can you have that, that mindset of, oh, sure, I like your stuff. I'll like this. I'll like that. Yeah, why not? Take some pride, man. Take some internet pride in what you like and in what you don't like, especially what you like, because before, like maybe 4 months ago, 3 months ago, the likes were public. Now likes are private, which is cool. I respect that, You don't need to see, everybody doesn't need to see what you like, even though you signed up for the freaking service, so, and your account is not like private, therefore, why would you even have that privacy? Anyways, it's cool. It's fine to have the likes private. I don't really care. I never really looked at likes, I'll be honest, and just kind of scroll through X and see what people are saying, what people are commenting. Like, I have no, like, interest in seeing someone post something on X and then going to their account to see what they're all about. I've never really been that type of person, except when it's, like, pointed out. Like, I think that there was a time where, I think I followed Samuel L. Jackson on X, and back then it was called Twitter. I was following him on Twitter, and he was, trending, and I was like, what the fuck's this guy trending for now? And I go to the thing, I tap on his name. Dude is straight up getting called out by people, by nobodies, by regular Joe Schmoes on Twitter, that my dude Sam Jackson is liking porn posts on Twitter. That poor son of a bitch can't even live a life, without being called out by some loser, some no-life, some nobody on Twitter back then, and him trending for it. He just trending at will for what he likes. And then, you go back and you see, and all the likes have been deleted. He's unliked his shit, clearly feeling the pressure of some loser, doing that to him, the poor son of a bitch. And it's just like, I've never been into that. I've never been into, pointing that out, much less, just like snooping like that. Never really been a person like that. Never. Always thought it was kind of strange and odd behavior to do that, It's weird. I mean, Twitter, now X, is not even like really like a place. I mean, it is. Trust me, it is. But it's more of a place for like memes and shit posts and stupid things, like it always has been. It's always been like that. I think it always will be. There was a period in time where they wanted it to be like, news and accurate and credible. And then I still think they kind of want it to be like that too, from Elon Musk's standpoint and Elon Musk's views. But the amount of memes that you see on X and the amount of shit that you see on X that is stupid as shit and dumb as fuck, and literally you just waste so much time on there, like, it's almost like it can never defeat that side of it. Like, X is for the memes. Let's just be honest. It's for the memes. I mean, hell, bro. Hell. When Donald Trump nearly got assassinated, there were memes within 30 minutes of it happening. Maybe even sooner than that. I mean, I got sent so many memes of Donald Trump with his fist up, bloody face in a different background, something in his hand, him in a different area, different, backdrops, yada, yada, yada. But you see memes about that, within 30, maybe even less minutes of it actually happening. So yeah, X wants to be like, credible. X wants to be a source of stories and news and, place of like gaining information. I mean, you see all these cringe ass posts and cringe ass ad posts when they advertise something or they sell you something, and then right below that there's like a reader's context or fact checking or experts. It's like, bro, what the fuck is all this shit? What is that? It tries to be that. It tries to be credible. It tries to be real. It tries to be sincere. It tries to be professional. But let's be honest here, okay? X is for the memes. It will always be for the memes, and it will die for the memes. Whenever it dies, whenever X dies, it'll be dead by meme. It'll be dead from memes. As long as we are alive, as long as human beings are the top of the food chain, are the only thinkers on this planet, are the only beings that could use X, as long as it's only human beings using X, X will continue to be for the memes and nothing else. That's it. I can't tell you how many memes that are on X. There is more memes than anything on X. I mean, it is a meme fest. X is, I'm just telling you how it is. I mean, like, people want to make X like a entertainment or hub of the world. Sure, it will be, but not for what you want it to be. No, it'll be for the memes, 100%. It's World Emoji Day, today. Not really today, but today. And I was just like, that's a real thing. World Emoji Day. So I wanted to give you guys some of my favorite emojis that I use, because there was a time where I did not like using emojis. I thought that they were immature and childish and not serious. While I am a serious person, I do like to have fun. And one of the fun things that I think that we can all do in our day-to-day life, as simple as it is, and I'm talking very simple, very, very, very simple, the funnest thing that we can do in our day-to-day lives, that, we have a serious life, serious business, serious life, like I said, life and job and, afternoon extracurricular activities, hobbies, whatever it may be. The most funnest, simplest thing that we can do while still being serious and still being, all about business is using emojis. Emojis make me laugh my ass off. Some of my favorite emojis, by the way, and I'm going to look at this through my text messages of what I send to my friends and my family. Some of my favorite ones are thumbs up. Thumbs up emoji is like one of the best. Like, you don't even need to reply with a word when you send that. Everybody knows what that means. Thank you. Okay. Gotcha. Sounds good. I'll be there. Good. Great. Perfect. Fine. The thumbs up emoji is the best thing. It's one of the best things that you could, that you can send. The crying, laughing emoji is, oh boy, it really does, kind of, perfectly encapsulate, like, when you are truly feeling that way. There is nothing better to, send. Whether you're laughing at something, or you're laughing at somebody, or you're laughing at what somebody did, the crying, laughing emoji is so... It has many different forms. Like it could be just crying, laughing emoji. Like, that was so funny. You could also mean it in a way like, you have done something so bad, I think it's funny as hell. Or, you made a mistake, and I think that's funny. Then you send the crying, laughing emoji. I mean, like, universally, it has, like, so many different forms of like why you're laughing. And every time you send it, you know why, and that person who is receiving it knows why you're sending it as well. So, crying laughing emoji. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful emoji. The throwing up emoji. I think that emoji is not used as much as I would like to, because not only does it mean like, what you did was not good, or what you said was dumb, or what you posted was dumb, but what you posted was so bad that I have to send an emoji vomiting to show you, to convey to you how I feel about your actions that you just did. It's perfect. I truly do think that it kind of rivals the crying laughing emoji just because it's so over the top. I mean, how funny is it that when somebody posts something that they think is cool or neat or different, and they're like kind of happy for themselves, how sweet is it for you to send the throwing up emoji, and their reaction every time is priceless, because you know what they're thinking. They're like, he thinks that what I sent is so bad, his emoji is vomiting at what I had posted. Like, that is so funny. Like, it's more funny than disgusting, I would say. The vomiting emoji is beautiful in that sense. It really gets it across that whatever that person did, you don't like it or you hate it. You can easily put a thumbs down. You can put like a mad face one, but there's nothing I think more satisfying than showing your disagreement or your disapproval with somebody of what they either texted you or posted than to put the throwing up emoji. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. It encapsulates my feel towards that person's cringe more than ever before. I mean, I think that it's perfect. It might just be the best meme of all time. Not meme, sorry, emoji. Let's see. Another favorite one that I love it too, is the clown emoji. The clown emoji is, I mean, you want to clown somebody, you want to show like how stupid somebody is, how dumb they're thinking, or how dumb what they're posting is. I'm not talking about like silly, like making fun of or like disgust, but like how dumb they could be. Give them the clown emoji. That is something that is, I mean, it is beautiful. I mean, it is like all these emojis that I've said are like neck and neck of like perfect. This is how I feel towards you. It's harmless. It's simple. But it gets straight to the point, and the clown emoji is just, so beautiful. The raised eyebrow emoji. Now this one is another one that can really, really set somebody off. And I mean, by the way, what I mean by that, by set somebody off, is they will actually like question what they had sent to you before. They would be like, why would he send this? They will question what they had replied to you, what they had sent to you. Combining that, I used to do this to my friends all the time on Discord. You would combo that. If someone sent you something stupid, silly, disgusting, perverse, just uncalled for, questionable, even a questionable reply that you're like, I don't know, like what you did there. I don't see what you mean by that. People need to see this. You combo that with a raised eyebrow emoji and the camera flash. The camera emoji flashing on your phone, iPhone. That is the raised eyebrow and the camera flash emoji. Those two together, one after the other or together like that, symbolizes a screenshot. Like, what do you do? You know, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I love hitting people with that because, you know, sometimes these people that I know, you know, these dumb fucking people that I hang out with, and you know, who I love, you know, sometimes they do some stupid shit where you're like, what is he talking about here? He's probably gonna bring this up later. He's probably trying to get out of this. I better make sure that I have the evidence, and I always send him that. That way they know that your boy, it's got the evidence. Like, I ain't gonna let you fly with this one. You know, you said you were gonna be, you know, do this at this time, and it's now this time, and you're not doing this. You know, I got the proof. You know, we always do that because you can't let these fools just get away with everything. You know, you can't do that. Those are my favorite emojis, ever. I'm looking at my most used ones. I also have the pause emoji, which, you know, if you're familiar with the pause, you know why. Praying hands emoji, pretty good too. Hourglass, almost empty. I love that one too. It's like, you know, you're trying to get somebody to respond quick enough or do something quick enough, and you always give them that just to, you know, make sure they hurry up a bit. The fire emoji's always good. The 100 emoji's good. And what else? It might be the saluting emoji. Saluting. That one is relatively new, but has become one of my favorite emojis to use. I actually think that that's what got me back into using emojis, was the saluting one, because it was so cute. It was cute as fuck, and I'm like, yeah, you know, that's cool. I feel like that, you know, when, you know, somebody wants you to get something done, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You're like, all right, gotcha. It's almost like an elevated thumbs up emoji. You know, I understand, sir. You know, salute them. You know, pretty cool. I like that. You know, World Emoji Day, you know, as funny as it sounds and as useless as it is, and, you know, who really gives a fuck, really did brighten my day. You know, I think brighten my day and brighten this podcast. You know, thinking about all the best emojis that we have out there, and some of the ones that we'll never get back. You know, we'll never get back the revolver emoji. That one is gone forever. Now we have a squirt gun. I think that might be like the only one that's been like killed off, was the gun emoji. The revolver emoji. Everything else has been, you know, pretty much, you know, I think stayed. I don't know, I have to look up like which emojis were killed off. I'd have to look into that and see what that is. All right. And that's going to be it for me today. People, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.